sci-fi movie, coming a month later with Ang Lee.
Yeah, you know, I took a couple of years off, and I guess I sort of hit a ceiling in my life. I had created the things that I could create in my career. I was getting to the end of my wisdom with leading my family, and I kind of got to a point where I had a bit of just a collapse of my life and creations. You know, so I took a couple of years off, essentially to study. You know, to study and journey spiritually. And Aladdin was really my first sort of coming back in and, you know, seeing if my heart was even still in this kind of performing. And what I discovered is everything starts with, what am I saying to the world? How does this piece contribute to the human family? Can I go around the world with the ideas that the movie represents, and can I teach and preach these ideas in good conscience? And with Aladdin, you know, checks all of those boxes. I love the idea of Genie, and one of the things that I related to in Genie is that, you know, the Genie has shackles, right? So the Genie has these, you know, spectacular powers, but he's shackled, right? He is a prisoner of his spiritual fate. And that's sort of how I felt with Will Smith. I was sort of shackled by Will Smith. And in these last couple of years, I've just started finding my freedom, where I'm getting free of Will Smith and I'm getting more comfortable being me. So Aladdin was that first step back out. And in terms of Gemini Man, that was like, you know, we were not going to talk about that yet, but then, you know, just the ideas of that, and there's, you know, some deep concepts under that, and really it's just about my beliefs. You know, I'm going out into the world and I have a big voice, and people look and people listen, and I just want to make sure I'm saying things that improve and contribute to people's life and growth and joy and evolution.
Well, I watch your inspirational Instagram stories, which have gotten me through many a day. I'm so glad I got to see one live and in person.
Yeah!
I see a hand at the two right here. Yep, it turned to 5. Right in the second row. Yeah. I want to make sure I'm getting everybody. Yes.
Hi, my question is for Guy, and this is a resolutely Disney film, and yet I was also struck by how much of a Guy Ritchie movie it was. And I'm wondering if you could talk about some of the things you thought you brought to this production that no one else could.
I don't know about the last bit, but you'll be surprised how familiar I am in this territory, considering I've got 5 kids, the oldest one's 18, which pretty much means I've been up to the eyeballs in Disney production for 19 years. And also by sort of family demand, it was about time I made a movie that we could all watch together. So Aladdin ticked the box in the sense that it was a street hustler and I was familiar with that territory. My wife is a big Disney file, and anything to do with Disney princesses is high on her list. So it was really a question of demand by the family. And frankly, I was just ready to do something in this world. And then, of course, it's very hard to be objective about your own work, but, you know, inevitably what happens is that you leave an imprint upon it. But, some clever director once said that the lion's share of directing is casting, and I think that's true. And I think once we got our little team together, then we were all on the same frequency, and it didn't take us long before we all dialed into that frequency. And then it just all worked from there. And it all came out very organically, actually.
I think the beautiful thing that Guy does on set is that he creates a sense of family and community, and everybody feels free to create and bring their take on it. and then he kind of molds it from there, but he allows us to play, and I think that's something that no one else could have done as well as Guy.
Yeah, that's a really beautiful approach that he has. I heard an idea in the Alchemist about a shepherd leading from behind, and that's a really beautiful approach that Guy takes. It's like the first 5 or 6 takes, he doesn't say anything, he just watches. You know, he just lets you do it, and you do it, and you know, he sees what all everybody's choices are naturally, and he watches, and everybody gets excited, and we're playing, and we feel like we're making it, and then he comes in and just gently starts to guide, and, or, you know, everybody back towards what he wants, and he's wildly collaborative and open, and it's a rare combination to be that open and that definitive at the same time. It's a very difficult thing to do, and he has mastered that very well.
I think another, oh sorry.
Yeah, no, I think they're being very kind here. The thing is I'm not really sure what I'm doing, and I'm hoping they're going to do it for me.
Another example though is, perfect example might be like One Jump Ahead, right? One Jump Ahead is one of those songs in the animated movie which is almost choreographed. It's one jump ahead, red light. It's very sweet, very clever, very stagey. And Guy, I know, wanted to get to the truth underneath it, to go, who is Aladdin in this more than just a guy performing, as Guy said, jazz hands. And so we tore that song apart. We tried it this way, we tried it that way, to get the swagger into it. And he challenged me and the whole music team to go to a different place. We went to some pretty extreme places, and then when we came back to, it feels like One Jump Ahead to me, but it feels very real. So whatever happened in that process worked.
I think a lot of it too has to do with the fact that Guy is truly the least rigid filmmaker. And I feel like when I watched the film, so much of the joy that is there came from his spontaneity and his comfort in finding something on the day, which I would imagine is a challenge for a movie on this scale. I mean, you look around and you're like, the money is being spent. There are so many pieces in place, and it's really easy to just be locked into an idea you had of something. But he was so open to finding new things on the day, like you just mentioned, that it made it so fun for us.
I see one right there. Is that Laura? Yeah. Like, I know my...
So what I love about the movie is that it, everyone loves the animated films, but it came from an origin from East Asian, South Asian, and Middle Eastern culture. And I really love that you guys were able to put that all together in this film. How important was it to tell this tale, not only from the animated motion picture, but also the origin culturally, to keep it authentic?
I had a feeling it was coming my way.
I have an opinion if you'd like me to go first.
Yeah, you crack on.
Right. I think it is critically important to be able to pull stories and colors and textures and tastes from around the world. I think that in this particular time in the world, that kind of inclusion and diversity will be a critical part of turning our connectivity, because we have more connectivity than ever, but transitioning that connectivity into harmony is going to be really critical. And I think these kinds of interactions in these types of movies are a powerful global service. So it was critical and important to me. I spent a lot of time in the Middle East also, so this one particularly was critically important in that way. Got it?
No, I think you've done it very nicely.
I see in the second row, right here on the end. Yeah.
Well, congratulations, all of you. Number one, I'm thrilled to see a very jiggy Genie. But
that's actually the first time I've heard that. Good, that's the first time.
Leave it to the gal from Philly.
There you go.
Definitely repeating that one.
I've got to ask Gemma, such a beautiful job with the production design, but what you had to do with this film, it takes it to a different level than what most production designers have to do, because we're not just looking at eye level. You have to worry about the overhead levels and the view from the world above, looking down. What were some of the challenges and your considerations in your production design to give us the bird's eye view and the street view?
That's quite difficult to answer. I think what happens is you start to create your whole world, and it takes me over as much as anything else. So the world just kind of grows up. I think you have to realise that also I was working very closely with Chaz Jarrett, who is the visual effects person. So we kind of worked together on some of the overhead worlds. We built models, we worked it all out very sort of mathematically as to how you'd see everything. But I think the world, it just kind of grew with the script, with the characters, with a lot of the dance sequences needed to be very seriously choreographed, and I had to work very carefully with them. That there'd be 10 yards before they jumped something, 20 feet before they'd fall. You know, it was all kind of requirements. It was like, it's very hard to explain, I don't know what can help me here, but it kind of grows, they work together, so I'm visually hanging on to my vision and not wanting to lose any element of that. Meanwhile, they all have to do all these extraordinary feats, so we all work together, really. I think if that answers any of your questions.
Well, what happened also that is spectacular, and as an actor, and it's interesting because we've never done an interview or anything together, so it's interesting for me to be here with you and hear you discuss those things. The ultimate compliment from the actor's point of view is we were transported to the time and place, and that's what happened when we walked on that set. When you walked through, it was in the textures of the walls and all of that, and the stairs were real. You could go up and go out onto the rooftop, and all. You know, it was a powerful way to transport the actors into the emotions and the smells of the time and place.
Thank you, Will. I mean, I have to say I enjoyed every single moment of it. I've never had such fun as I have building that world, actually.
Let me get your son right on the end.
Hey, well, great job for you and for everyone. 3 wishes from this movie. What would your 3 wishes be in real life?
3 wishes from the movie.
I mean, 3 wishes compared to the movie.
You know, it's funny. We were having this discussion. It will be wildly underwhelming. But we were talking about that, and I would have one wish, and my one wish would be divine understanding. And that's the thing that I've been finding I just turned 50 this year, and that lack of understanding, confusion, is the mother of fear and violence. So for me, I would absolutely wish for divine understanding to be shared with all. I think that understanding is the seeds of peace.
Amen.
I think that, I can do this. 1, 2, 3, 4th row, hands still up right in the middle.
How can you even see?
I'm trying to make the effort to, I got you.
Thank you. This is for Naomi Scott. You're a singer anyway, and the Disney style is kind of quite specific. I just wondered how much adjustment it was to sing in that context, and what kind of the differences you felt there were to explore.
Sorry, I feel like I don't know if I'm looking at you or not. I'm kind of just like, I'm trying to interact with you, but it's a good question. I think that number one, you're kind of singing in character in a way, but it's interesting because this was a discussion, because obviously the accent is this mid-Atlantic kind of weird thing, so obviously I sing how I naturally sing is a bit more kind of in my own voice, you know. So definitely I had to put on some type of voice, but I think, yeah, like it was a challenge, especially like the singing live thing as well was I really wanted to do it, but again it was a challenge. We had like an earpiece and I was basically singing a cappella in this like quiet room to myself, like a crazy person. Literally, that's what it felt like. But yeah, I think that's how I viewed it. I was like, I'm in character, you know, but I definitely did want to put on a musical theatre voice as well. Like, you know, I was talking to Alan about like, I didn't want it to feel like performance-y or like, I still wanted it to feel like you're kind of going through what she's going through. And again, like I naturally tend to sway more in the kind of R&B world in terms of just my own music. So I maybe added a little bit of that. I don't really know what happened in that booth, but I think it was a mix of both. It was kind of like singing in character, also bringing a little bit of my own flavour. I guess, similar to, I guess, to what you kind of did. So yeah, that's how I viewed it. I don't know if that answers your question.
And to add to that, so every aspect of that song kind of raised a different bar that we had, because once that song was in place, we go, okay, now, how do we set that song up? How do we create the moments when she would actually break into that work with the story, and organically we lead into it. So we divided it into those two parts. So first part is, I don't want to remain speechless. Second part is, I won't remain speechless. And then also, yes, it does have a much more of a pop sort of feel to it. So we had, you know, if we saw screening like we did, like, I don't know, 8 months ago, I was going, it's not yet feeling like in the score. So we did a lot of work, number one, threading themes in, and taking that pop orchestration, but adding in the colors of Aladdin in. And it was nerve-wracking, but at the end of the day, it actually really works. I'm so relieved.
We don't know about this girl. What's she gonna do with it?
And your R&B and pop inflections make it's perfect within the context of the story and the arrangement and all that. It's exactly the right balance.